wanted to do it according to like who deserves the shot, it would be, in my mind, it would be either Justin Gaethje, who is a very compelling argument for deserving the shot. He was the interim champion, changed the progression of Tony Ferguson's career. Like that one just beat him down. And it was a brutal fight. I mean, he's got so many victories. He just beat Fiziev again after getting knocked out by Holloway. He's one of the best of the best. You know, he's fought for the title before. He fought Khabib. Like, he's been really good, man.
But what would stop him?
And he's a big star, and he also deserves it. The other guy would be Arman Tsarukyan, and he could be a world champion. If I wanted to do it according to not marketability, but rather like who deserves it, it would be either Gaethje or Tsarukyan.
It started with a whisper and a vanishing post. One offhand comment from inside the fight world, a bold Instagram story that disappeared almost as fast as it appeared, and suddenly the lightweight division felt like it had a countdown clock. The rumor machine said Ilia Topuria, the undefeated ice-cold new king at 155, was lining up Justin Gaethje for UFC 322. Two names that guarantee chaos one night everyone watches. No signature on paper, but the conversation exploded anyway. And when that happens in this sport, it means something. If not a contract, then at least a direction. Here's what set the fuse. Renato Moicano said he'd been hearing whispers that Topuria's first title defense could land on the UFC 322 supercard. Then Topuria's manager, Lucas Rizal, took it a step further with a blunt Instagram story. A call-out pointed right at Justin Gaethje, hashtag and still stamped like a promise, and even a prediction of a knockout. Then, delete. The post didn't live long, but it didn't have to. Fans screenshotted, debated, and ran with it. A deleted post is still a megaphone in 2025. But rumors don't walk in straight lines. Right after the hype spike, the break screeched. Follow-up said nothing was signed. Some voices in Topuria's circle pushed back at fake fight graphics and overeager headlines. The vibe shifted from "this is happening" to "it could happen" in a single scroll. That whiplash is classic modern matchmaking. One spark, one pile of speculation, then a cold bucket of not official. Still, the conversation didn't die because the names involved don't let conversations die.
I truthfully believe Justin Gaethje will take this fight to Ilia Topuria, and I think Justin's the only one who has a chance.
Only one?
Justin Gaethje, a highlight finisher. This dude goes out there and he promises a big fight every time, and what does he do? He lays his life out there every single time. You're gonna get two guys who are gonna go in there and want to strike with each other. There would not be one single shot of a takedown in this fight. They're gonna stand there in the middle and they're gonna bang it out, and whoever lands first wins in that fight.
I think something that people have missed with Justin Gaethje is the Max Holloway fight overshadows what he has done. I don't think people give him enough credit for what he did against Rafael Fiziev
Twice.
back 2 weeks notice with a very dangerous guy in the lightweight division, and he put on a absolute clinic. I get it. He is 1-1 in his last 2 fights, but he deserves a title shot. I truthfully think so because what he has done for the company. This is a guy that has said yes every single time. But let us know in the comments who you guys.
And that's the first real clue. Even without a contract, a rumor only grows this fast when people secretly want it. Think about it. Justin Gaethje is a violence guarantee. Every time he fights, the building turns into a furnace. Ilia Topuria is the new force of nature at lightweight, the man who stepped into a vacant throne and flattened Charles Oliveira in one round to claim it at UFC 317. Put those two facts in the same sentence and you've already built the poster in your head. You don't need a belt graphic to see the explosion. Not everyone loved it though, and that's why the story caught fire. One camp says Gaethje is the perfect first defense for a star-making night. Huge name, walk-forward menace, a style that forces a champion to show everything. The other camp says deserve still matters, that this division is stacked with killers who climbed the ladder the long way. They look at the rankings, at the current form, and they throw out a different name entirely, Arman Tsarukyan. To them, Gaethje is old guard entertainment. Tsarukyan is the fresh technical demand. When a fanbase splits along spectacle versus merit, the debate becomes its own fuel. The Gaethje case writes itself in capital letters. Former interim champ, leg kicks like crowbars, a highlight package that could score its own movie. He's the guy casuals recognize and hardcores respect. And yes, the Max Holloway knockout is the clip people replay, maybe too often. It makes some forget what came before it. Absolute clinics, grit on short notice, brutal work against Rafael Fiziev, twice across his recent ledger if you're counting camp shifts and late changes. Gaethje lives at the intersection of risk and reward, and that crossroads is exactly where pay-per-views are built. If you're selling a night at the Garden, this is the type of chaos you want on the flyer. But the pushback has receipts too. Arman Tsarukyan has been sitting near the front of the line, quietly turning technicians into cautionary tales. He was the backup around the time Topuria seized the crown, and even with a late scratch on a previous booking, the broader picture stayed the same. He wins with pressure wrestling, measured striking at range, and a composure you can't teach. When legends break down the division and call Tsarukyan the toughest matchup for Ilia, they're not selling hype, they're doing math. Size, pace, and a style that tests what Ilia hasn't truly had to show for 5 straight rounds in the UFC. Answers to a chain wrestling grinder. Then there's the grudge angle that almost hijacked the calendar. After Topuria's title coronation, Paddy Pimblett stormed the cage and lit the fuse on years of talk. Face-offs got rough, security waded in, and for a week it looked like destiny. Fans saw dollar signs, quotes flew everywhere, and the bad blood felt cinematic. Then Dana White cooled it off. He said the moment wasn't scripted, it wasn't the plan, and just like that, the biggest grudge match at lightweight went back into the slow cooker. The lesson? Business wins when timing is wrong. He is real, but the schedule is the boss. So what does Topuria Gaethje look like if it's real? It starts with control of the center and the tax Gaethje charges to enter his office. Calf kicks. No panic, just pain. If he lands them in clusters, the champion's footwork loses its snap and the pocket stops being a choice, it becomes a trap. But Ilia's counters are built for that exact toll. He keeps his shoulders quiet, hides the right hand behind a curt jab, and then detonates straight down the line when opponents square up to kick. The danger for Gaethje isn't the first counter, it's the second one, the one Ilia throws after you've braced for the first. That's how calm punchers hurt aggressive men. No windup, no warning, just punctuation. Bodywork matters here more than people think. Gaethje's hooks to the ribs don't make a scene in round 1, they cast a shadow over round 3. If Ilia gets greedy for early counters and stands still for just a second, those shovels land. And when they land, the champion's next burst comes slower. But Ilia's defensive reactions are efficient. He rolls, shifts, and keeps the exits short. He doesn't admire his work, he reloads. If he forces Gaethje to reach for the hook, the shorter shot wins. That's the nuance. This fight isn't who hits harder, it's who owns the beat before the shot. Will anyone wrestle? Probably just enough to change looks. Gaethje's defensive wrestling is stubborn steel. Ilia has the strength and timing to make the clinch ugly, but neither man wants to gift the judges minutes on the fence at Madison Square Garden. Expect feints at the level change to freeze reactions, not an extended takedown clinic. The pride move is obvious. Settle it standing and let the winner write the clip we'll be replaying 5 years from now. Now zoom out to the politics board. Justin Gaethje has been loud about wanting his shot, even hinting at retirement if the path doesn't open soon. After his latest win, he pressed the UFC brass and made it clear he's chasing either the belt or the door. That pressure matters, MSG nights matter, and timing is a currency in this sport, sometimes more than ranking. Meanwhile, Tsarukyan keeps busy, submission grappling events, steady visibility, and the kind of performances that make deserve hard to ignore. Every week he competes, the matchmaker's headache gets worse. There's also the pure business take that refuses to die. Some analysts argue Paddy Pimblett would have been the biggest payday right now. Mic skills, market heat, and years of animosity with Ilia equal a box office cocktail. In that worldview, merit is important, but money is the point. Others disagree and say Ilia versus Islam down the line is the real mega fight, just not today. These are not contradictions, they're lanes. The UFC picks the lane that keeps the calendar sharp and the numbers bright. So where does that leave the division? 3 clear paths. Path 1, the spectacle route. Gaethje gets the nod because violence sells and MSG loves the storm. The rankings grumble, the fans watch anyway. Path 2, the merit ledger. Tsarukyan forces the issue either by staying ready as a backup or by stacking another elite scalp. The belt defends its hierarchy and the division exhales. Path 3, the curveball. An injury, a visa snag, a last-minute reshuffle, and Ilia Topuria's dance partner becomes someone you didn't spend all week arguing about. It happens more often than anyone admits. Whichever path the UFC chooses, the Ilia question doesn't change. He fights like the room belongs to him even before the first punch. His hands are tight, his reads are quick, and his conviction doesn't wobble when the lights are bright. That's why every rumor around his name goes nuclear instantly. Pair that with Gaethje's promise of mayhem and you understand why a single deleted story could bend the internet for 48 hours. If you're Team Gaethje, the blueprint is simple but ruthless. Kick early, kick often, and never kick naked. Pressure without sprinting. Corral the exits, don't chase the head. Touch the body so the counters lose voltage around later. When Ilia steps off on the angle he loves, meet him with the right hand he doesn't see. Make the champ fight at your volume, at your temperature, under your taxes. If you're Team Ilia, the answers are cold and efficient. Punish the very first calf kick with a straight that echoes. Keep the jab like a metronome. Shorten exchanges, don't audition for a brawl. When Gaethje squares to throw the left hook, beat him with the shorter shot and reset before the building pulls you into a war. Let the finish be a consequence, not a chase. That's how champions look like champions. And if you're the UFC, you're counting the levers: names, timing, gates, and the long game for a new champion who might carry the division for years. You don't just book a fight, you cast a season. That's why a whisper became a wave. Even the hint of Topuria Gaethje rearranges the month. Here's the final thought. Whether you're here for the storm Gaethje brings, the merit case Sarukian represents, or the payday noise around Pimblet, you're really here for the same reason. Ilia Topuria makes the whole division feel unstable. That's the mark of a real champion. He doesn't just beat contenders, he makes every plan scramble to adjust to him. Your turn. If you had the pen, who gets the first crack at Ilia? Gaethje for the chaos, Sarukian for the principle, or a left field curveball? Drop your pick and the one sentence that sells it. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Next video, I'll break down the round-by-round win conditions for each matchup and the exact adjustments that flip the fight if Plan A stalls. Because in this division, Plan B decides everything.